Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is New to, and today I'm bringing you a brand new deck list. So this is my take on a blue Treanu list. So why blue and why Treanu? Well, Treanu is a super strong hero, and we've really seen him bounce back after his initial success kind of last year in pre-Pollen Weaver nerf or ban and power nerf. He kind of fell out of favour after like the UK Manchester scene, so the second regional, and never quite made it back on top. Though in the last chance qualifier, I think Treanu played very well by a guy called Meme, was third or fourth, so he did really well with that. And it's such a solid deck list. And as you can see, I think it was played a lot in Gen Con as well, as a lot of people's like one of their choices, and there was a kind of dread Treanu list. But I'm going to be showing you a blue one because I think blue with our green has got what it takes to make a really frustrating lock deck for your opponent to play against. And of course this is pre-Kindred, so there's loads of spice after Kindred as well. I can't show you yet, which is frustrating, but I wanted to get some new content out for you guys because I know I've been slacking, so I'm sorry, forgive me. And let's just go right into it, shall we? So let's have a look. Here we go. So I have called it Bluanu. And Bluanu is the name of our blue-green lock deck. So let's have a look, shall we? So we have got our hero, Treanu. There he is. Draw 2 cards. Your target heals for 3. Super, super good ability. I mean, I'm talking like top tier ability. When you heal your opponent from up to 35, they cannot heal anymore. That means you can use an action and your target will not heal, but you still draw your 2 cards. That is sweet. Right, now let's have a look at our combo. Actually, do you know what? Before we go into our combos, let me just talk about what the deck does first, because otherwise you won't get it. So what the deck relies on is using the combos One with Nature and Raging Spirit to increase your insect swarms and your mantics hatchlings and your hungry behemoth's abilities, so that at the start of every turn you're hitting your opponent for loads of damage. Do you know, potentially 18 damage plus before you've even started the turn. And we set up this lock with spectral webs, old oaks, do you know, the kind of usual nature lock. But we complement this with Marry Bards as well. So your opponent's buffs aren't going to work. And of course later when we get a few more cards, we can put a cheeky Thunder Slug in as well, and we can get a bit spicy with that. But for the moment, let's just talk you through the kind of core theme of the deck. So our first combo is a dual order combo. It is Living Whirlpool, great artwork there as well, and we heal equal to the number of buffs your target has in play and then remove them. So that's really good. You're playing against those nasty tuck to decks, you're playing against those granite decks. They've got mountain forts, emergency systems, exterior defenders, unruly mobs, ancient miners, they got the works out. You're just going to go like Living Whirlpool, and it's a defend as well, so that's even better. Next, One with Nature. Classic card if you've ever seen it. Increased damage and healing done by 2. Great. We love that card. That means that our Stumpdrift Shamans are going to be healing more. That means our insect swarms are going to be doing 3 damage at the start of the turn instead of the 1. So all of a sudden, they're looking a bit scarier now. And it gets even scarier with Raging Spirit. So we increase damage and healing done by your animal cards by 3. Whoa, that is tasty. Because now, I mean, just this alone is good. Because you have this insect swarm out, you're hitting for 4. You've got 2 insect swarms out, that's 8 damage a turn before you've done anything. You know, and it just gets stronger and stronger, so we love it. Regrowth. It is what it is on the tin. We get our burst heal, which is pretty good. We don't have a lot of kind of burst heal in nature decks, so I like regrowth. And we can move 2 discarded buffs into play, so that's really cool. So as you see, it doesn't specify action buffs, so if we somehow manage to lose our One with Nature, Raging Spirit, we can get those back in, so you like that. And finally, Vine Lash. So this will change when I can show you the Kindred stuff, but for now, Vine Lash, sometimes if you're just looking to finish your opponent, Vine Lash is just a perfect. You're going to take 14, plus 3 from Raging Spirit, plus 2 from One with Nature. So you're going to do loads of damage. So Vine Lash is still really good. Alright, let's get on to the meat and potatoes of this deck with our actions. So we run 2 Hungry Behemoths. Really cool card. Always gives us a heal, which does rotate it, but we can just reset this back with Old Oak. So we like that heal, and of course works well with One with Nature and with Rage Spirit. But also importantly, the damage. The damage is really good late game because it gives us a unremovable source of damage. So they can't touch it because we got our Spectral Webs out. So we can keep hitting them for damage during our turn. We really like that. And also that's an ability that we use end of game. So starter game we use Treanu's ability, end game we use Hungry Behemoth's ability. Next, Insect Swarm. Great card. I always want to shout, not the bees, when I play this card down, and it's exactly like that. If you're on the wrong end of this, you really do feel like you are Nicolas Cage in that bee helmet. Mantis Hatchlings, kind of like Insect Swarm, you can see there, but it does 2 damage, but it rotates if I take 1 or more damage. Now the cool thing about this is when you play them kind of near the end of the game, you'll find that your opponent just doesn't have any attack cards or doesn't want to throw away the attack cards. And if they do, we can just reset it with Old Oak. So it's cool. Maribard. Your target's buffs are dormant, so that's really cool. So that's really good for getting around your opponent's Spectral Webs if you're playing the mirror match. It's good against some dread cards like Obfuscation. You know, you can't remove these cards, you can't do this, can't do that. Maribard says, yes I can, they're all dormant, and then I can just Reckless Spirit it, or next turn I can Living Whirlpool and just suck the whole thing up. So that's cool, we run 2 of those. Next, 3 Moss Ridge Defenders. We need them, they're defensive cards. These are, if you get these in your opening hand or the start of the game, it's just brilliant, love it. Old Oak, have to run 3. Or do I run 3? Yeah, have to run 3. Super good. We start up to 2 action buffs. That's your Moss Ridge. That's your Spectral Web, definitely. You almost exclusively use it on Spectral Web. And then anything else that you can kind of snap up with that is a bonus. So we love Old Oak. Reckless Spirit. So our buff removal, 3 damage, remove 1 buff. So it's slightly below the buff removing average, but what makes this card insane is that it's not a burn card. That means we can Root Singer Reckless Spirit back from the discard into our hand. So we can have, well, we have at least 6 buff removal deck if we always target a Reckless Spirit with our Root Singer. Sleepy Crab Staff. I don't own another Tempest Rod, so there you go. Gives us access to blue. 2 Spectral Webs. Now, I did think about running 3, but I think they can clog up the hand a little bit. If you get it in your opening hand, you don't really need it in your opening hand. You need it kind of end game once you start playing down the Insect Swarms and the Mantis Hatchlings. So I think 2 is fine for how we play. And of course, I just want to show you it again. Your buffs can't be removed or returned, so they're not getting rid of them. They can be accelerated, so your opponent can Fountain of Time it. They can Chrono Warper it. So they can spin it, but they just can't remove it or return it. We run a 1 Spirit Channeler. So we always need heals in this deck, and Spirit Channeler works well with Treanu. So if we heal our opponent with our Treanu's ability, then we heal for 2 as well. So that's really good. So we get even more value out of Treanu's ability. So we like that. 2 Stump Drift Shaman. Just solid healing. 1, 2, 4. We can get it back with Root Singer if we desperately need it. Again, with 1 with Nature, it becomes 3, 4, 6. So that's really cool. 2 Tantosian Blacksmith. The old Tant Blacksmiths. We need them. We need to get those blue in play quick. It helps thin the deck as well. So, yep, that's pretty good. And finally, 1 Tempest Rod, which is the item I actually want to be using instead of Sleepy Crab Staff, because it just gives us the ability to remove a buff from another hero as well. So if it all goes terribly wrong, we can still use Tempest Rod ability as a kind of fallback if it all just goes nuts. So that's my Bluanu deck list. I hope you liked it. I think you'll find that it's really good and it will really take you far if you can play it well. Should check out my next video coming up. I've got a game where I play against a Wartoximus Warp, and that was really good. So you get to see kind of basically like how the lock kind of works in place there, and your opponent just cannot do a thing. So, yep. Oh, do you know what? I tell you what. Let's open some of these loot boxes here while we're at it. Oh, sweet. Okay, so we've got a Stampeding Tusker. We've got another Moss Ridge. Good. Flower Garden. Sweet. And let's have a look at our loot chest. Ah. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I've been Mewtwo, and today you've been looking at the green-blue deck list, or Bluanu.